and welcome to an Apple a Day with Dr. Amanda. I'm so excited that you're here. Today, we're going to just talk about the topic of suicide ideation and thoughts. This is our Wisdom Wednesday. If you're a subscriber, hello. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like what you hear, and tell a friend. So I actually have this on podcast as well, and every week I do a weekly theme. So this time I'm doing suicidal ideation. So I'm so excited that you're here. And again, we all have other topics that go really with this, such as rejection, abandonment by Pastor Elaine. We have people of all kinds of different backgrounds talking about leadership and everything else. I wanted to do the recap, usually Wisdom Wednesday in the middle of the week. Later this week is all about us refocusing and then moving forward from where we're at and how to overcome those mindsets. So again, when you're thinking about suicidal ideation, and again, the first thing is I'm going to post the national hotlines. Again, I'm in Pennsylvania, but the national hotlines, if you need help, please reach out to somebody. If you have no one that's safe, please make sure you reach out, because people who are in hotlines, counselors, they're experts, they're safe, they care about you, they want you to be well. I want you to be well. And so my hope for you today is that you get hope today. And you are wonderful, you're amazing and loved, and you deserve to be here. And I love you, and I know it's hard. I may not know what you're going through, but I care about you. I just want to talk a little bit for this Wisdom Wednesday about how scary that can be, because a lot of times we have different thoughts. And I always say different types of thoughts in our heads. And that's really for everybody. A lot of people get nervous, but you think different thoughts. That's what happens. And so what's really interesting is that sometimes, again, we may replay thoughts from other people. We may have thoughts about thoughts that we've heard about others say over us, thoughts about ourselves, and just lots of different thoughts coming in, right? And it's almost like when we have our executive functioning, our frontal cortex, our prefrontal cortex, that section of our brain, the control center, air control trafficking center, and it comes in, and whenever we have something, I always say, is this true, appropriate, kind of myself at all times? And if it's not, then we get the opportunity to cast that down. And again, if a thought comes again, you can say, that's not true. And sometimes that's really hard. And so sometimes we're really feeling hopeless, not hopeful, and that's a really hard place. But I want you to know that there is hope for you. And with those ideations, a lot of times that can be really people can be bombarded in their brain or think that nothing's going to change. And I want you to know that, yes, there's a lot of high suicide rates, death by suicide, unfortunately, in our country, in our youth. And so it's mighty important for us to be able to express how we're feeling and talk to people and know that there's no stigma in getting help. It's important to get help. A lot of times we had Trina talk about not really having support, and that's not okay. So again, I wanted you to be able to think about where you're at and how hopefully you can move forward. So again, some things that I always think about for this is this thought true, kind, and appropriate, and building me up all the time? And again, when we're in a really hard state, that's hard to do, but it's something that we can start to when we're in a better state. And also, would other people say that of me? And a lot of times it's not true, or we may think so, but not everybody, right? What our families say. And also having a list. Sometimes I need a list of everything about me, or everything I've done that has been great, or everything that I've overcome as a remembrance. That would be my second tip. And my third tip is make sure you have support. If you have no one safe, make sure you're reaching out to a hotline. Again, if there's any type of safe person that you have in your life, I hope you do, and I'm so sorry if you don't, but make sure that you go to them and you have that safe person, or you have that hotline to be able to get other people, that you can be in groups or surrounded by other people. And I know there's such a stigma with suicide, but again, we are working towards that as a community, I would hope, to make sure everybody is heard and loved and seen and taken care of. So again, when we're talking about suicide ideation, I can only speak about my life, even when I was younger and older, about times when I thought I just wanted to give up and be done. And you know what? Luckily, here I am. It was really hard. I am so thankful by grace that I'm here. And again, I never attempted suicide per se in the regular measures that people talk about with pills or anything. But I was going through some forms of suicide with harming myself, with eating addictions, thinking all kinds of thoughts, and just feeling hopeless. And the hopelessness obviously comes with this. So it's not something against me. It was how I was feeling, and I was allowing those feelings to really override everything, knowing that there's hope, and that can be a hard place. And so some other tips could be doing things that you love every day and making sure that you spend so if you love to walk outside, even on the hardest day, allowing yourself to go walk outside. you know, if you have accountability partner, you know, making sure that if you have somebody that you're like, hey, I really want to check in with you. And again, you know, those are some little things. I know it can be really personal and scary to talk to people and say, this is what I need. So I'm just hoping that you can reach out there. And again, there are many different types of things for counseling. You know, I always say it's important to pick wisely with your counselor. There's many counselors out there. There's a lot of trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, many different things. I would say make sure you get the support. I am in the process of getting my license, but I would say make sure you go with somebody that based on, and it's okay to, you know, have conversations with the person that you're looking at taking for during intake or doing counseling with, to see are they a good fit for you and are you a good fit for them, and really to build that trusting relationship. But also, you know, are people able to get set free in that practice? Because again, there may take some time, but we want to get to the roots of it so you can be set free. And it is a process. And I'm sure some of you have lived through this for years. I know Trina talked about it for decades, and that's scary. And she had no one. And that's really scary to think, oh my gosh, am I going to get past this? And I totally had times where I felt the same way. It was such an attack on my mind. I felt so hopeless and so scared to reach out for help. So I totally can understand her story. And I remember there's been countless times where I was so thankful by grace that I was saved and protected, and here I am today yet. But there were times of really hard and dark places. So I just want to reach out to all of you today and my Wisdom Wednesday and say, you are incredibly amazing. A lot of times, whether you've been through trauma or other things or hard situations, or you've been having this, I want you to know that you're amazing. And your brain, again, the brain is an interesting thing, but when you're going with trauma and then feeling this way, it's really hard, especially when you've gone through other losses or grief, or even in your family things have happened and you're so confused by it, that I want to be a beacon of hope. I want you to know that there's light and there's hope and there's love for you out there, that you matter, that there's no one like you, and for you staying. And I know that's hard because a lot of times we don't hear that, and I can totally understand that when you're in that place, it's hard to hear that. Like, you may just want to be like, I need to feel this, and it's okay to feel, process it, get it out, and then also, you know, make sure that you surround yourself with people who will build you up, but also will listen to you. So whatever you need at that time. So again, I just wanted to come on here for this Wisdom Wednesday in between and say that you're incredible. You know, I'm sure some of you have gone through so many things, or even if you've attempted suicide, I want to say you're amazing. And I'm so glad that you are here, that there was an intervention, miraculous intervention. You are still living and breathing because we need you. And those of you who are hurting or thinking about it, again, there's that hotline, reach out to somebody. Those of you who are don't have faith background, but I'm hoping that this message, or even seeing this, allows you to say, I need to stay. And I'm hoping that, boom, something breaks off, that you're able to get the help or move forward and stay here, because we need you. We need you in this earth to do only what you can do, and you're incredible. So again, I'm thinking of you. I love you. Please reach out on that hotline. You know, I'm going to list a couple of resources just to help us with learning about how to get supports for suicide ideation, and again, any type of national centers to help you with this. So be well. If you like this, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And again, you matter. I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you again for another day with Dr. Amanda.